been 3 months since the Federal Emergency Management Agency began its reimbursement program for funerals of people who died because of COVID. Mitch Legan has more on how the program is helping Hoosiers and how you can apply.
It's here in the kitchen because this is her room. She ruled the kitchen.
Al Keski is learning to navigate life without his best friend.
We went to the homecoming dance, and that was the first date. And it just kind of continued on there until we were married in 1959. So we've been married, had been married 61 years.
Keski's wife Sarah was a woman of many talents, a great cook and mother, expert seamstress, and even hidden artist.
And I knew she was doing some watercolor things, but the ones that she did, I had never seen before.
But toward the end of her life, she was diagnosed with a neurological disorder that required extra care and had to spend time in a nursing home. In 2020, COVID entered the home. Sarah eventually caught it and passed away at the age of 83 in December.
I couldn't even hold her hand. I was at a window and I could just, hi.
Keski is one of millions of Americans who have experienced a family member's death from the coronavirus. If the stress of the pandemic wasn't enough, on top of the grief that comes with loss of life, families had to determine how to honor their loved ones.
And funerals aren't cheap. You know, funeral costs in Indiana range from $9,000 to $13,000, $14,000. And a lot of people had not planned for that.
So when the Federal Emergency Management Agency announced it would reimburse families for funeral expenses caused by COVID, Applegate wanted to let her clients know. She organized an open house to educate people about the program and how to apply.
They're already grieving the loss of their loved one, and then to pile on a financial burden is really hard for them, especially when they're of limited means, and they really don't have those resources readily available.
So what is the program, and how do you get the money? FEMA is offering up to $9,000 to cover funeral costs for those who died of COVID after January 20th of last year. If there are multiple deaths on the same application, up to $35,500 is available. To apply, you must be the one who paid for the funeral and be a U.S. citizen, qualified alien, or live in the U.S. territories. You must call to apply. FEMA is not taking online applications to minimize the possibility of scams and fraud. When you get on the line with someone, they'll walk you through the documents you'll need. That includes a death certificate or other document proving COVID caused the death. You'll also need documentation proving how much you paid for the funeral and if you received funeral assistance from anywhere else.
So I called that 800 number and they asked me a lot of questions. I answered all the questions, and about, a week later I got a letter saying you have been accepted into the program.
After your application has been submitted, FEMA says it'll take about 30 days to determine your eligibility. The funds will be sent by check or direct deposit according to preference. Keski applied for the assistance in early May and received a check for $4,000 in early July. He encourages others to do the same.
It's a great thing because right now I'm on a limited income, and having things going on, this really helps defray some of the costs of just day-to-day living.
FEMA has handed out over $700 million in funeral assistance so far. There is currently no deadline to apply. For Indiana News Desk, I'm Mitch Legan.
If you or someone you know could benefit from the FEMA funeral program, more information is available on our website, WTIUnews.org.